You mentioned that you learned on the job about journalism.
Yeah.
So you had a strong background, and sometimes they say that if you don't know what you don't know, you can create more because you don't have the boundaries.
Totally. And I've always loved trying to preserve my naivete in life. You bring that naturally to the table after you graduate from university. But the older I get, the more determined I am not to give in to fear and say no to new opportunities. And we have no choice right now. 10 years ago, 12 years ago, the media landscape was still intact. The internet existed, obviously, but social media hadn't scaled yet. You look at magazines and newspapers like the Globe and Mail. The Globe and Mail, I don't think, signed on. They didn't sign on to Twitter until 2008, 2 years after the platform was invented. So I always say that I got into media and journalism at the tail end of the golden era. And at the time, I had dreams too of maybe being a columnist for the Globe and Mail, and I quickly realized that dream makes no sense because it wasn't long, right as soon as social media took over and newspapers and magazines, especially newspapers, decided they had to give away their content for free, then the hemorrhaging began, and the whole business model started to collapse, and we're still in collapse mode. If I swing back around to what you were saying about trying new things, yeah, because we haven't figured out the media business model yet, still, after all of these years. So I got no choice but to be open to adapting constantly and trying new things constantly, seeing what works, throwing out what doesn't work. But I think it generates more ideas. It keeps you vital, and it means I get to meet people like you who also have a very experimental mindset, and it's the only way you can be right now. We're in a time where, when it comes to getting gigs and getting jobs and bringing all of our skills to the table, it doesn't matter as much who you know anymore. No one cares where you went to school. They only care what you can do and what you can make. So,
like basically what value you can bring, right?
Yeah.
What is missing in the table that you can contribute.
That's it. What skills do you bring to the table, and how can you make something come to life with your particular skills? That's why I exercise everything all at once. My interviewing skills, my writing skills, my drawing skills. I mean, if I look at this week as an example of what I've done work-wise, yesterday I spent the whole day standing at a window drawing marketing designs and making drawings for a restaurant in the financial district. So I'm bringing my artistic skills to the table. The day before that, I was teaching at the University of Toronto, talking about digital strategy. The day before that, I was prepping interviews for a magazine feature that I'm going to be writing. So every day I'm wearing a different hat, but boy am I grateful, because it never gets never gets stale. And I'm always using different parts of my brain. Drawing is actually, especially drawing large scale things on a window or a wall, is very physical. It's also cerebral, but it's using a different part of my brain. But it's physical because I'm standing up, I'm stretching, I'm lunging, I'm getting rulers out, I'm measuring, I'm thinking geometry. Like the ancient Greeks, I've got to draw a perfect oval shape. I got to get it right.